Welcome to Living Your Path. I am Cecile Ferry, a coach and astrologer. I'm here to guide you on how to live and work in alignment with your true self so you can find fulfillment and serenity. Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome to your Cosmic Catch-Up for week commencing the 27th of April. First of all, I am aware that we are the 29th of April, so I am a little late, but I am back. I am recording this live, and I'm going to blame this on the jet lag because, trust me, if I had recorded something in the last 2 days, it probably would not have been fantastic. So I was still getting used to that, coming back, and today I feel really good. So we are in for a good episode, and thank you for bearing with me, and I hope that the episode that I recorded when I was away were helpful. I hope that you have had a good second half of April. You have probably really felt how the energy has been shifting quite to the next level in April. I think we've already felt that we have switched gears, really. I hope you're well. I hope that things are starting to happen and to come together for you in a very positive way. I hope that you had a really good new moon in Aries, which was such a powerful start to the year, I found. I was in Nice with my best friend at the time and really felt that Aries courage coming through me. So maybe you have felt the same, you know, that clarity that I'm ready for this now and stepping up for that. I definitely saw clearly what was the new beginning in that part of my life, and there will be more on that on the podcast later. But I hope that you've also felt that fresh start and that you have committed to something. It's not too late if you haven't yet, but now is really the right time for that. There is still a ton of Aries energy around. We have Mars, Mercury, Saturn, and Neptune in Aries right now. Especially just having Mars in Aries, which is its home, means there is a lot of really powerful force and energy really carrying us right now to get things done. So I've said it before, but really a great time for action. It's all systems go. And I have found myself and heard it around me as well. A lot of people are feeling like they're really stepping up for themselves and in that sense of self-leadership and asserting their needs. I've also been doing the same. I've really noticed how I've been really honest, very direct, and more like saying what I need and being less into the kind of good girl hiding or making excuses for other people, trying not to ruffle any feathers. Like right now, I really feel like, no, this is me and this is what I need, and I'm just going to say it. So I hope you've also found those energies. And if you're feeling them right now, I hope this gives you the permission to really feel confident. I think that's what this energy is giving us right now. It's a boost of courage and confidence. So that's a bit the background of the last couple of weeks. And so lots of Aries energy. And we have the sun in Taurus and it's Taurus season. And I want to say you pretty much wouldn't know it is Taurus season. Thank goodness we have the sun. So some energy there to help us slow down and really get grounded. And I hope that you're doing some of that too. Because at the same time, there's a lot of Gemini energy happening. More on that in a minute. So we only have the sun giving us that very powerful quieter yin energy right now. So since last week, we have had 2 planets moving into Gemini. The first one is Venus. So it changes sign every few weeks. It was in Taurus where it was very much loving it. And now it's going into Gemini, which is an air sign, which means it's going to bring more an intellectual, communicative energy to our relationship and finances. So you can expect to really feel quite dynamic in your relationships, maybe having some really active, fun, I want to say, conversation. Also a lot of variety, craving variety in your romantic life. And on the social front, I think a very active time. The image that came to me was the social butterfly. I think that's the season. So you may be really active socially, and that's right in line with that transit. And then now 2 things I actually want to cover today. And so the first really important one is the move of Uranus into Gemini. So this happened on the weekend, on Saturday night or Sunday, depending where you are in the world. I was actually up in the sky when it happened. So this is a big change. It only changes sign every 7 years, and Uranus takes 84 years to go around all the zodiac signs. Pretty much a lifetime for us. And what that means is we've never experienced Uranus in Gemini before, and we will only experience it once in our lifetime. Okay? So this is a first for us. Well, actually, there was a tiny preview of it last year. It moved into Gemini for about 2-3 months, middle of last year, but then went backwards in Taurus. But now it's moving there for good. And I'm not going to say we must have felt it straight away, but this is going to be another long transit of 7 years. So this is just like the beginning. What I'm covering right now doesn't apply just this week. It applies for the next 7 years. We are going to feel it because Uranus is the planet of change and disruption. So whenever Uranus is at play, we see it. It's not discrete. And Gemini is a sign that is focused on communication, thinking, and our social life. It's also a mutable sign, we call it in astrology, which means a sign that sort of mimics and mirrors change. So if you like, there is change crossed with change. It's going to be a very active, kind of buzzing transit. What this will do, it will be accelerating our thinking, our mental activity, our mental processes, and it's going to disrupt them and it's going to shake them up in a way to innovate, in a way to liberate, in a way to really blow things out of the water, in a way that will shift a lot of that stagnation maybe that we've had in the past few years, in order to really access rapid, fast progress. Just to put it in perspective, because this is really important astrologically, all astrologers are talking about it. This is the last big change this year. And this is the last outer planet that is changing sign. And those are all, each on their own, a pretty big deal. I've been talking about that if you've been following the podcast for some time. The first change of planet was Pluto in November 2024. It moved from Capricorn into Aquarius. And then last year we had a preview of changes. Planets started to shift into their new signs and went backwards. And then this year they're all moving really for good into it. And by that I mean we've had Neptune moving from Pisces to Aries. We've had Saturn moving from Pisces to Aries. And then now that's the final one, Uranus moving from Taurus to Gemini. So we are there, if you like, into the new chapter from this week, really. And we're going to be feeling it for the next couple of years, right? So I'm personally happy and excited about that because it means the transition is over. And I think we're all ready for that. The last couple of years have felt really slow, have felt very heavy, like things were kind of breaking down, crumbling down. It wasn't pretty. It felt really dense because there was a lot of that water energy. Water is fluid, but it doesn't move very fast. You know, there was so much Pisces all the time, and it can feel like, oh my God, this is taking forever, right? And a lot of earth energy as well. But now all those planets have moved into fire and air. So we got exactly the opposite, which means things are going to be fast moving. They're going to be quick. They're going to be very dynamic. And I don't know if it's better, but it's definitely going to feel very different. So I'm really excited that now all of those changes have happened and we are now into a new era globally. And I know you'll be seeing it in your life. You're probably already feeling it right now. and it will unfold for the rest of 2026 and 2027. And then we'll be really used to that kind of new way. But be ready for like shifts to really happen from now on. In terms of Uranus in Gemini, what to expect? First of all, like at a global level, because we will see it over the next 7 years, we can expect very rapid changes or disruptions or innovations in the fields of communications, social media, transport, and technology in particular. So I'm really ready to start seeing like crazy things really happening. Like my personal wish is like in transport, a way to go to France in about half the time that it currently takes. But within 7 years, those things can definitely happen. I think there will be a lot of changes with AI, with the internet, with social media. There will be new things, new platform, new ways of doing things we can't even think about right now, but they will happen. There will be also a shift to more intellectual freedom. That is freedom of speech, freedom of writing. So around the world, I think things are going to start to shift in that way and into more alternative ways of thinking and maybe theories or train of thoughts that are quite radically different. And so we can also expect, as part of all of that, some disruptions to travel, to power grids, to the internet. Really think like this electrical energy happening, it's both kind of liberating and accelerating things, but it can also mess things up a little bit. For you, what does that mean for your life over the next 7 years? The main thing is you will see changes to your way of thinking and your way of communicating. It's literally going to rewire your brain, and that will generate new thinking, new perspective, new possibilities, and what I like this new clarity. So if especially things have just felt really muddy, or the way you've been seeing things is just really stagnant, like suddenly you will see another way. You will think another way. It's really about mental expansion. And we are going to be making leaps on the back of that. So that's very stimulating, something really exciting. I think we will be solving problems a lot faster. We'll approach things with a very different, sometimes in a lightning bolt sort of way. And so expect that as well from other people around you, but also for your own life. Just don't discard that thinking, even if it sounds like a bit out there. This is Uranus in Gemini, and it's there to free you up. Secondly, you can expect some shift to more personal freedom in your everyday life and in your thinking. So again, you might be looking at things you've always done a certain way and suddenly feel like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore, or I feel like doing this now. And just embrace that. Really embrace be curious and explore those things and play with it. And don't worry, like even if it feels a little out there, you may even feel all the way to be a little rebellious, especially intellectually. So just be mindful of how you express that. But it's perfectly normal for that energy. And you may also get sudden flashes of intuition or psychic kind of vision, because Uranus is extremely psychic, but it goes through the mind, right? So if you see those things, just don't discard them. And I think it's going to be a transit where we will get really good at feeling the energy and like reading the energy in the room and kind of that telepathic energy. I really feel strongly about that. I think we're going to get a lot better collectively at reading each other's mind. So tips for you under this transit: watch the overstimulation. And by that I mean mental overload, because this will activate your nervous system. And if it's already quite activated, especially if you've got a lot of Gemini placement in your chart already, or if you are prone to anxiety, this is going to be next level for you. It's going to add another layer. And so for a lot of us, it may be too much. So in other words, watch how your brain could be fried, and you might really feel that mental fatigue at the end of the day. So very important to anchor yourself in self-care, in grounding practices, especially going into nature. You're going to have kind of your brain being dialed up to the max, and you're going to have crazy ideas and all of that. But you know how you need to counter that with just being on the ground at the same time. Otherwise, you will struggle to sleep, you will struggle to switch off, and you really feel mentally drained by all of that. So really important that you watch the balance here. Secondly, be curious. As I said, explore those new options and paths that will suddenly open up to you. And then move and adapt quickly, because this will force you to change your mind, and therefore take that invitation and follow through with it and be flexible. This is not a time to be resisting change and to be sticking to your guns, and you'll be missing out on all the potential and the benefits of this transit. And finally, watch out as well in case you might feel really scattered, because this is what Gemini energy does, and with Uranus it's amplified. This might bring a lot of divergent thoughts and energy because it opens up your thinking, and it's going to go in all directions. So be really mindful that your actions don't reflect that, and you just scattered and you do a bit of everything everywhere and you jump all over the place, because again, that is going to drain you and that's not going to be productive for your results. All right, so there will be more on that. We'll see how it unfolds, but start watching what's happening in the world in terms of all the fields I've mentioned: transport, technology, social media, communication, all of that, and just really trust. I think this is a great, exciting time to be in the world, because we are going to see a lot of progress. And then watch in your life how this also unfolds and what doors it suddenly opens up, and make sure that mentally you are rebalancing. Now, I have another thing to cover for this week. It's a pretty long episode, but we have a full moon, so I need to cover that. It's happening on Friday, the 1st of May. It's happening in New York at 1:23 in the afternoon, in London at 6:23 in the afternoon. In Australia, it will be the Saturday early morning at 3:23 a.m. So this is a full moon in Scorpio. And I feel like just saying those two words together says it all, because full moons are intense and Scorpio is intense. So you guess it, like we're going to feel that one. We will. And it is likely to be quite an emotional one. So it depends also where it is in your chart. It is happening at 11 degrees of Scorpio. So look in your chart where that is. If you don't know where that is, you can order my moon calendar. I'll put the link in the show note. The moon calendar will tell you exactly where each new moon and full moon of the year falls for you in your chart. Or you can get the birth chart reading with me. I'm now back. My diary is open. So if you haven't had yours read, book it in. So have a look where that falls, because this is where, especially in your life, some deep emotions are going to come up to the surface because they're ready to be released. So there's going to be a bit of excavation happening on Friday/Saturday, where things, especially like potentially secrets or deeply buried things, are coming to light, are coming to the surface, because it's time to let them go. It's time to detoxify those things. It does sound like quite intense, and it will be. We do have a couple of positive aspects at the same time in the sky, so that is good. We have a harmonious aspect with Jupiter and the North Node. So that means with Jupiter, new opportunities on the back of this and a sense of optimism. So that is good, supportive energy for us. And with the North Node, it adds a karmic support to it. So I think this is saying, yes, it may be hard to release those things, but if you do it, you'll be rewarded karmically and there will be opportunities. We also have Venus in a harmonious aspect with Saturn, so that's positive for our finances, our relationships, in terms of making plans and moving forward. We also have Mercury right next to Chiron together in Aries, which means that we will have the ability to have very healing conversations. So if things come up, really, we will be equipped to have very sensitive talk and really words that can heal. However, I must add that the moon and the sun will be in a tight square with Pluto during this moon. So that's the only downer, because that will add a dimension, a tension to this full moon, where we will be led to see all our issues around power and control. And Scorpio is a lot about that as well. So there's definitely an undertone of that. It will feel intense a bit. Have a look where this falls in your chart. For me, it's in my 12th house, so I know it will be more internal. It will be more happening in my subconscious, but it could be happening in your career. You may start seeing some power struggle with people at work, or could be happening in your 4th house, and it could be with your family. So just be very mindful under this full moon. I'm going to give you a couple of questions as usual to ponder. The first one is, what do you need to release, especially in that area of your life? What are these deeply buried emotions you're carrying? What pain are you holding on to? What are those deep resentments maybe still in you? What secrets are ready to come out, or what old wounds are ready to heal? So it's very much shadow work time. But trust me, you will feel much better for it. It's the opportunity for you to feel lighter comes next week, and carry on with your actions, all that Aries forward momentum, all that fire and air. You cannot be the fire horse if you're dragging some deep emotional baggage. And so this is the opportunity for a cathartic release, really. That's what the full moon will do for you. So embrace it. Maybe write it all down, the things that really annoy you, the kind of really deep resentments or grudges that you're holding. This is the time to let it all go. Maybe even burn that piece of paper so that you clean yourself out and you don't have to carry that going forward. So that's the gift of this full moon. All right. This has been long enough. I'm going to leave it here. I do hope that you can start thinking about all those changes that are happening. That's never been a better time to be following an astrology podcast, to be honest, to really understand the changes at play. I am fascinated to hear the stories of my clients, of my friends, people in my family. Everyone is going through those transits, and I'm seeing it, all the changes in the shifts starting to take place, and I love that. I'm sure the same is happening and unfolding in your life. So I want to say good luck for that. I want to say to you, hang in there and just show up and just do it, and don't be afraid. And this applies for myself as well. I am facing some pretty big growth, and I'm like, okay, well, this is the time. I actually feel like I have to implement what I believe in, what I talk about each week, because all those changes are happening in my chart as well, on top of those transits. And it's go time, it's time for new things for me. I think it really helps knowing the background, if you like, the context astrologically. So again, if you find this podcast helpful, please share it with 1-2 people in your circle that really could benefit from also having that level of clarity and understanding of what's happening right now, because it really helps going through the motions, going through the changes, knowing that it's meant to be happening and that it's going to carry you forward. So on that note, I'm going to leave you to this week. Have a good rest of the week, and I'll be back next week. We'll see what else is happening. But in the meantime, see how you feel about that Uranus in Gemini transit, and have a really positive releasing full moon at the end of the week. Take care, everyone. I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.